Rabbi Zusha. A long time ago, in Poland, on a cold, cold, dark night, Rabbi Zusha lay dying. And yet he wasn't afraid. He was old and he knew it was time, and he was surrounded by his friends and his family and of course his many disciples who were staying with him and to accompany him in those last moments, singing and praying and reciting psalms. Every once in a while, one of them would burst into tears at the thought that their beloved rabbi would leave forever. But Rabbi Zusha, even though he was frail and weak, would smile and comfort them and say, "Don't cry. We will meet again in the Olam Haba, the world to come." Now, as the night grew deeper, suddenly the disciples who were around his bedside said, "Shh," because Rabbi Zusha's face changed, and his eyes started focusing on something beyond the room, outside the small Polish village, something beyond this world. And a hush fell over those gathered, and they came in closer, watching, because they knew that it was about to happen. And Rabbi Zusha's eyes lit up, and he started to smile. But then suddenly, his face changed, and a look of horror, utter horror, came over his face. And suddenly, Rabbi Zusha did something that none of his disciples had ever seen him do. He burst into great, heart-wrenching sobs, as if his own soul were ripping in two. "Master, Master, what's wrong?" they cried out. One ran to get a glass of water, another brought another blanket. Several of them held his hands. "What's wrong? Are you in pain?" "No, no. I'm afraid. I don't want to die." Now the disciples didn't know what to do about this. "But Master," they said softly, "you yourself taught us that there is nothing to fear from death." "I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of the question that the Holy One is going to ask me after I die." And at this, the disciples were more confused than ever. "But Master, what question could the Holy One possibly ask you, of all people, that you would be afraid to answer? Master, you have been a father to us like Abraham. You have been a wise ruler like King Solomon himself. You have been a strong leader for our people like Moses even. What question could the Holy One possibly ask you that you could not answer with an open heart?" And upon hearing this, Rabbi Zusha wept all the more bitterly. And when finally he was able to catch his breath, he said, "That is just it, my children. Now that I am at the gates of the Olam Haba, I can hear the question that the Holy One is asking me, and the Holy One is not asking me, 'Zusha, why were you not Abraham?' or 'Zusha, why were you not Solomon?' or 'Zusha, why were you not Moses?' Now that I have come to the end of my life, and it is too late to go back, the only question the Holy One has for me is, 'Zusha, why were you never Zusha?'"